All right, good to go. Hi, everyone. Curtis Hall here. I'm with my best buddy, Brad Reese, and I'm so excited to be on the call with you for a few minutes tonight and talk to you about something that we think is really important, we think is really exciting, and we hope that you get excited about it as well. So anyway, welcome onto the call. We're going to be talking about a couple of different companies tonight. We're going to be talking about the Blue Ocean Business Group, and we're going to be talking about Avisae and their unique partnership, which has really come together over the last few months and really starting to turn into what we always dreamed it would be. And so we're excited to talk to you about that and give you some ideas of what we're doing, the direction we're heading. So we'll move through it here real quick. Give me the next one here. So one of the things I want to talk about is with the Blue Ocean Business Group, we have a lot of people all the time that are asking us, what is the Blue Ocean Business Group? What does that mean? Where did that come from? So I've been in business for myself for 23 years now. Or excuse me, a little more than that, actually. Sorry, I told my age there, didn't I? Since I was 23 years old, I've got Alzheimer's as well. But anyway, since I was 23 years old, I've owned and operated my own businesses, and I had an opportunity early on to meet some people who became my mentors. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life, was having access to mentors, people who understood business, people who understood how to build a business, how to make it sustainable, how to make it long term. And so I just latched onto their coattails and listened to them. And I was very fortunate all these years later to come back together with this successful group of people, most of them multimillionaires, and start to design what we always wanted to do. We really sat down and said, if we could write this from scratch, if we could develop this business from the ground up, what would we do? What would we do different than we did before? What would we keep? And what have we learned over the years that we could implement into this that would make the most sense? And in the process of that, Brad had introduced me to a book years ago called The Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean versus Red Ocean is what it talks about in this book. Blue Ocean being a company that creates uncontested market space. Although there may be competition in that space, they created uncontested market space, and they eliminated the competition completely. And it was also associated with companies that had high profit potentials. Versus what we call the Red Ocean Company, which was a company that probably had every intention of being a blue ocean company or a blue ocean opportunity, but because they never created their own niche, because they never became uncontested, they simply go out there and they compete on a day-to-day basis with everybody else that's in the market. And because they compete head-to-head like that, the waters become very bloodied, and there's not a lot of upward potential there. Even though they can be successful, it has its limitations. So I ask people all the time, which company would you rather be part of, a blue ocean opportunity or a red ocean opportunity? And obviously the answer to that is a blue ocean opportunity. So what we're going to talk to you about tonight is absolutely 100% a blue ocean opportunity. So we're going to jump in and talk about that. It's really, the Blue Ocean Business Group is a platform, and that platform allows people who are interested in becoming their own boss and in owning and operating their own business. It really allows them access to things that they might not have access to otherwise. They have access to some of the most significant leaders that have ever developed businesses in the channel commerce industry. And they have an opportunity not only to build and develop a business, but to have a voice within that business based on this platform. The one thing that we knew from our past in developing businesses like this, that sometimes our connections to the company that provided products and services wanted to control what I did. And so I went out there with every intention of building my own business and what I thought was my own cash flow. But what I was really doing was building something for somebody else. And that's not what anybody wants to do. I mean, we all work hard enough as it is. If we're going to go out there and take the time and put in the effort and the energy to develop a business, then we want to make sure that we have the controls in place that someone else cannot take that opportunity away from us. That the only thing that can happen is that it can be enhanced. It can only get better. And so that's what we're going to talk about, is what you do to have a voice in that. And that platform that allows you to do that is called the Blue Ocean Business Group. You know, we were talking about this the other day, and we were talking about Blue Ocean Business Group. We'll give you a quick analogy. It's like being in the NFL. If you all of a sudden, you're a football player and you went in and joined the NFL, you're now a player on this huge field called the NFL. But how do you have a voice? The only way you can have a voice is to belong to the Players Association. And so the Players Association is a group that collectively comes together that speaks in behalf of everyone else that's a player. So the Blue Ocean Business Group acts as this players association that you all have the opportunity to now be a part of. Okay, so it's very unique and it's a way to do that. And the reason we put that in place is because obviously we want to make decisions because we trust our decisions. Okay, so that's what that Blue Ocean Business Group platform is all about. Okay, now the other reason that we obviously want to talk to people about owning and operating their own businesses and going into business for themselves is to take them from the left side of this cash flow quadrant onto the right side. I love what Robert Kiyosaki says here at the bottom. It says the main reason people struggle financially is because they've spent years in school but learned nothing about money. The result is that people learn how to work for money but never have money work for them. We have to change that. That has to change for people. We have to allow people opportunity to, number one, own their own cash flow, and secondly, know what to do with that cash flow once they have it so that they can begin to have the most control over their life and the things that they want to do with their life. So our goal is to take people from an employee or self-employed standpoint where so much time and commitment is required in order to produce those dollars. And the second you stop putting in the time, you stop creating the dollars. We've got to shift that to where you can begin to leverage your time and leverage your money in a way that it begins to create assets for you. One of the things that you're going to hear Brad and I talk about today as we go through this is the creation of assets. And I think everybody on this call is very aware of the fact that in order to get from where you are to where you want to be, what's going to be required to do that is assets. You want to acquire assets, and you want those assets to grow. I was with a good friend of mine recently, a guy by the name of Ron Simmons, and we were in a meeting. Ron Simmons is a guy that's a multimillionaire. He manages just under $2 billion in assets. He built it by himself from the ground up. So this is a guy who gets it at the highest level. He's a brilliant guy. He's also the chairman of the board of the Blue Ocean Business Group, and you'll all have a chance to meet him and get to know him. He's an incredible guy, but he said to me, he said, look, Curtis, people need to understand the reality is that in order to ever get where you want to be financially, you're going to have to create assets. And there's only two ways to get them. You either have to buy those assets and have the money to buy them, or you have to build them. He said the reality is most people don't have enough expendable income, extra income that they don't know what to do with, that they can go out and buy quality assets. So we want to talk about giving you access to things that as an individual you might not have access to, but collectively as part of the Blue Ocean Business Group you can now begin to have access to. So that's what we think is important. We broke it down into 3 dimensions, okay? And all of these are very critical in the overall success we're trying to help people put together. There's the business portion of it, which is called the Avisae Marketplace. And the Blue Ocean Business Group has been very fortunate in teaming up with a company that was founded by a couple of gentlemen that you'll get to know, Brent Ryrie and Brooks Yates, incredible guys, incredible vision for the future. And the way they thought and the way they viewed things was the same as the people that were in the Blue Ocean Business Group. They thought the same. They looked at things the same. So it really made for a perfect partnership. So what Avisae is as a business is a marketplace, and that marketplace is there to provide whatever is needed for those people within this Blue Ocean Business Group and this association access to the things that they need in order to be successful in building a business. Okay, so that's where Avisae comes into play in this partnership. The second part is the training, education, and leadership that will be needed for an individual to build a successful Avisae business. So that's where the second tier comes into place. Again, sorry, I pounded on the counter here. And I'm very animated. If you could see me, I'm swinging my arms.
We got a camera going.
Yeah,
right
we're going to get the camera going. You can see how excited I get. Anyway, the third part of this is retirement planning. Okay, and the retirement planning is a major, major factor in my opinion, because I know that most people never do it. Everybody has every intention of doing it. Everybody starts out. I could go right now to my son who's 23 years old, who just graduated from Weber State University, and I could ask him, do you feel that there's a need for you to invest money in the market and to grow a retirement account of some kind? And he would say, oh, absolutely. But if I ask him if he set aside and created a plan to do that, he hasn't. So what we want to give you access to are the people who are not only can help with that, but are the best at that. They're the best that we've ever found. So we're going to give you access to that, okay? So this getting connected is really what it becomes about. So when you talk about people needing to access the things that they need to be successful in their business, a lot of times what that means to people, for those of you that own your own business, you know what's required. If I'm going to go start a business, and I've started many over my lifetime, it requires generally a lot of money, a lot of overhead, a lot of inventory, employees, accounts receivable, accounts payable, IT services, product, services, shipping, warehousing. There's just a lot involved there. Well, we just simply are going to give you access to all that. Everything from personalized websites to supply chain management to back office to tracking to commissions. Everything is already in place and done, so that you don't have to go make this capital investment now that you may not have or may not want to part with because you think it's too high of a risk. So we want to lower the risk that's involved in this so that everybody can really have a level playing field in their chance to go out and have a successful business. The other thing you're going to need access to is a system. If you look at every major successful company out there, they all have a system. And when you can plug into that system, I mean, if you look at McDonald's, McDonald's isn't successful because they have the best hamburgers. They're not successful because their shakes are so thick and creamy and you have so many options. I think you get chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Am I right, Brad? Or even, I don't even know if you get strawberry.
I don't even know if you get banana occasionally or some special flavor.
You don't get a whole lot of options there, but they have a system that works. Part of that system, and I feel like the most valuable part of a system, is the mentoring process. The people that you have access to, and I will tell you that through the Blue Ocean Business Group, you will have access to multimillionaires in the channel commerce industry who are participating, who are involved at every level of this, many of them sitting on the board that is the head of this Blue Ocean Business Group, that are there to help, to teach, to train, to motivate, to recognize, and do everything they can in their power to help you gain the skills that you will need to have a successful business. And then thirdly, once we begin to create cash flow, now what do you do to make that cash flow effective in your life so that you can get returns on your cash flow as well? So those are the things that we're going to talk about today and get into. One of the things that we need to look at in the very start of this is if we're going to create a business, let's just do it one time. Let's don't do it over and over again. Let's create a successful business one time. In order to do that, we have to have an initiative behind it that allows for long-term sustainability of that business. So as we sat down and started reading the Blue Ocean Strategy, one of the things they talked about in there was this thing called value innovation. Value innovation is very unique, and everyone should follow it, but unfortunately that doesn't happen, particularly in the channel commerce industry. So what you end up with is companies that come down the pipe. They find products that they feel are so unique and so different that they capitalize on those by charging an astronomical amount for those products because they think that no one will ever knock those products off and they'll never become available at Walmart. The reality is they are wrong. I'll give you a perfect example of this. I was with a doctor yesterday. This doctor is a formulator, graduated very, very high in his class from a very prestigious university, Harvard University. And as I talked to him, and we were talking about some different ideas, one of the guys that was with us said, is there a way that we could patent that product? Is there a way that we could do something to protect our product? And he looked him in the eye and said, no. He said, in the day and age that we live in, with the science and the accessibility to products, goods, services, and active ingredients, there's no formulas that are out of reach. Anybody can access these formulas. That's just all there is to it. So we understand the need to have products that are differentiating products that will make a difference in people's lives, but we also understand that if they are not presented at the right cost, then when they do get knocked off for a lower cost, you have an issue. You're going to have a challenge within the business that you've created because now you're trying to help people understand why yours costs more than it should, okay? So we want to eliminate that by having differentiation and low cost, thus giving us value innovation, not differentiation or low cost. And we're going to do that across all the lines of all the products that we come out with. Now, we are a company that firmly believes in providing what we call anyway products. Anyway products are products you are going to buy anyway. We also want those products to effectively help you in your life. So we are going to categorize these products. We're going to come up with multiple categories. So we are going to start out in the health and nutrition space for obvious reasons. The health in this country, we all know, has become terrible. I mean, it's not good. People need better health. They need better health solutions. And so we started out in that space for two reasons. Number one, people need it. Secondly, because it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, almost a multi-trillion, 1.7 trillion. It's on its way. If we have anything to do with it, it'll be multi-trillion. Anyway, it's over $1 trillion a year in this space. So we want to give people access to that. We started with 5 initial products. Now, keep in mind, this product suite will turn into 10. It will turn into 20. Just within the health and nutrition of optimal nutrition, we will probably have, who knows what, Brad, sky's the limit. I mean, we will have a ton of products that are out there. As we speak, we're looking way beyond these 5 products that we're going to initially talk to you about, and we're looking at multiple other things, even as we speak, that we are working on and developing and are in the process right now. But we'll also go into other areas, and we'll explain why we want to do that as we go through this. Next one. So let me hit the products real quick. Now, you can go to Avisae.com, and you can go in and click on each of these individual, and you can get a ton of information, okay? But let me just make this very clear. When you look at a product like Sustain, there are people out there that will look at that and go, oh, it's a vitamin, or it's a mineral. Wrong. That is not what it is. There is incredible science behind this product that will help support you at the cellular level that has not been done before in this formulation. Not saying that it can't be knocked off, because I'm also realistic in knowing that it could be. But for now, it hasn't been, and we hope we garner a lot of ground before it ever does. But this is going to be a difference maker in the youth and longevity for people that they have in their life, because of the way it supports you at the cellular level. Particularly 2 things, one called telomeres, and another one called glutathione. There's glutathione markers in here. And those 2 things, if you'll just go do a little bit of research on your own, you will find out what they are. And what we are looking to do is to support and sustain your youthfulness with this particular product. It's a phenomenal product. It's our flagship product. The other thing we know is that people don't eat very well. So if we could provide people with a solution once a day or maybe twice a day that would give them access to everything that they really need in their diet to have great things in their body, that's what the Indulge Shake does. On top of that, it tastes phenomenal. It has 4 different proteins. They break down differently in the body. There's very specific reasons why we did it. It's an incredible product. I'll show you the result of this for me here in a second. The other one is, what do we do with the way we just support ourselves throughout the day? We all know, and you hear all the time, you should be drinking, and there's all different formulations for how much water we should be drinking a day. The problem or challenge with that for most people is most people don't like to just drink water, okay? So what we did is we said, what could we give people that could be healthy for them? So we put together a product here that 2 of these a day is the equivalent of drinking 72 glasses or 72 cups of green tea, because we harvest the green tea extract. We have 350 milligrams of green tea extract in each one of these. Noni, vitamin D, which for most women is very lacking, even some men, but mainly women. Vitamin B12 for energy. As you can tell, I don't have enough energy, so I need to drink a few more of these. Anyway, but it does it without caffeine. And then we have raspberry ketones that also help in maintaining healthy blood sugar levels and promotes and helps with weight loss or weight maintenance, okay? And we all I need now is weight maintenance. Now, on January 15th, as you can see in this picture, I needed weight loss, okay? I've since then lost that, and I can look down and see all the way to the floor. So that's pretty exciting. I also went into my closet the other day, and I actually was able to pull clothes from the section of my closet that I used to not be able to pull clothes from. I know all of you have one of these sections in your closet, okay? So what we want to truly do is we want to help people become healthier. So part of being part of this business, and we're going to talk about business, but part of the unique nature of this business is we want to increase people's overall quality of life through the product offerings that we come out with, and this product certainly does it. I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. I've now lost over 25 pounds. I've maintained it now since March. and I feel better than I've ever felt in my life because of these products. Next one we want to talk about is Relieve. Relieve's a phenomenal product that has to do with, if any of you have the aches in the back or the shoulders or the joints or the old football injury like Brad has, football.
Shoulders.
Yeah,
hips.
absolutely. And with that time you were going up against Deacon Jones and, the fearsome foursome.
That's right.
Anyway, but it's fantastic. Once again, just do your homework on it. You'll see what we have in this that's going to help with that. We've got some proprietary things in this, like this Fruit XB, that is unique specifically to us and what we do, and we're getting great results from this as well. So anyway, these are the first 5 of many, many to come, and this is one category of many categories to come, and that will become very significant to your business in the future, and we'll explain why. But these things have to be priced correctly. The Shake Mix is priced at $59.95, along with Relieve, Sustain, and Reduce. And the Activate $44.95. They also have this thing on them called PV, that stands for point value, which will be significant in the growth of your business month over month. So that's what those stand for, and we'll talk about that as we go. Now, the one thing that we know is that you need to have, the one thing that we know is that we need to compile assets as well. Now, assets are obviously, we refer to them when it comes to finances, but we all have assets. I mean, this was brought to me recently. I was talking with Mark and Tammy Crawford, good friends of ours from Canada. They're incredible leaders. They've been incredibly successful in this industry. They know what they're doing. And Tammy started talking about people's personal assets and how each individual has these personal assets that have been gained over the years based on the situation that they went through. Whether that was a work situation, a personal situation, a situation at home, the way they were raised, all the different factors that come into a person's life allow them to create certain assets. The way they approach people, the way they talk to people, the way they interact with people, the smile they have on their face. But mainly it boils down to the people that you know. Who do you know? And how can we take that asset, these people that you know, and how can we get connected? Now, I think one of the biggest things that I look at, and I am a huge believer in this, it does not make any sense to me whatsoever that we wouldn't, with these relationships, all come together and connect and take all of the collective buying power, the collective knowledge, the collective know-how of every single person that we know, and just get involved and create a win-win situation that's better than people's current situation. I don't know why I have to convince people that that's a good idea. I don't even comprehend it because it makes so much sense. We live in a very connected world. If you don't believe me, have you heard of a little company called Facebook? Facebook is about connections. It's a huge, huge billion-dollar company, and the financial benefits of that don't help anyone except for the owners of Facebook. Well, why should that be the case? If we have all these connections, relationships, let's utilize those for profitability through a business. Makes sense. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take those assets now, and we're going to begin to create perpetual asset channels. We're going to create 3 of them, okay? We're going to take the people that you know, the connections that we have, and we're going to teach you how to leverage those and be able to create cash flow channels by doing that. So since I've been talking 100 miles an hour, I'm going to turn it over to Brad, and he's going to cover this real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
See if I go 120 miles an hour here. No. So, right. Well, thanks, Curtis. And we talk about creating these asset channels, the perpetual, and what is it that you've got to do, or what do people do to create the income or assets? And like Curtis talked about, everybody has different assets, whether it's a positive attitude, a smile on their face, a hard work ethic. The main things we look for are that kind of stuff, as well as being humble and teachable and willing to be mentored. And all we want to teach you to do is, we showed you the product suite, is become your own best customer. As you share this idea with people and you're using Sustain, Reduce, the Daily Indulge, you talk to people about it, some people will just become customers of yours. They'll want to try the product. Some are going to want to be in business with you. But by you doing that, we just teach you how to create volume. And by doing what we call 100 points a month in volume, which would cost about $120 to $160 a month in the actual cost to you, you generate personal volume. If you share this idea with 3 people that did the same thing, whether that volume came through their customers or from them, and it was a minimum, we use the loyalty order program of 100 PV. If you had 3 of them do that, you would make $50 a month. So that's what we teach you to do. Become your own best customer, share the idea. You and plus 3 others doing their own best customer. And as you know, as our product suite expands and we get more and more and more stuff, the 100 points, it'll go to 200 and it'll expand as well. But that's $50 that you didn't have before. Now we expand that one more further. All those people, we want to help them. They have assets as well. And we want them to put those in 3 channels as they begin to do the same thing and teach their friends how to become their own best customer. All you got to ask yourself is, who do you know that drinks water? And if you know somebody who drinks every day, drinks water, well, then give them some Activate. And they can put that in their water, stay healthy. How many of them eat breakfast every day? We'll replace their breakfast with just about a $2 daily indulge, which is their one perfect meal of the day. And you can't eat breakfast for that. Yet here we're replacing that. So right there's 2 products. How many want to sustain their health, sustain their youth with Sustain? Just those products alone put you well over 100 PV a month just from 3 of them. And so that's what you simply teach people to do. They're already eating breakfast. They're already drinking water. Just put some things that help them be healthy and sustain their life a little bit better. And by doing that, you help your 3 people get their 3. You'll make $250 every month. Now, I don't know what you were planning on doing before this call tonight to make an extra $250 a month, but I got excited about this first time I thought, because I could already do that and see that happen. Well, we help you. We will help you. You help your 3 friends. Help your 3 friends with their 3 friends. They're going to do the exact same thing. Teach their friends how to become their own best customer. Who do they know that drinks water or has breakfast? If they'll do that, you get 3, who get 3, who get 3. You're just doing a loyalty order of 100 PV a month. Whatever it is that they like, you'll make $1,500 a month in income. And that's month in and month out that happens. So 3 people who get 3 people who get 3 people, $1,500 a month, all becoming their own best customer. And they'll have customers along the way that they're going to introduce this to, and it'll all help in that volume. But $1,500 a month, we thought that was a pretty simple program to help people in these financial times. Now imagine as you were able to put a third of that away. If you could put a third away into our 3rd tier, that retirement, begin to build assets for yourself. And it was what we're explaining to you right now. These asset channels will become huge. They're what we call distribution channels, or channel commerce, where we move goods and services through these 3 mechanisms or channels. From this next step, what we want to do is continue the same process. That 3rd person helped them get their 3 and their 3 and their 3. If we can do that just down 8 levels, 8 away you, so there you are, and it's 8 away down 3 of these channels, these distribution channels, we will give you another $800 a month in income. So last I checked, $1,500 plus $800 is $2,300 a month in income. And this isn't rocket science. We try to keep this. One thing we've learned is we want to keep it very simple and duplicatable. You just become your own best customer, share the idea. Own best customer, share the idea. What are we sharing with people? They all have assets. They all know people. They all have a work ethic. And as we do this and continue to go on, pretty soon you've got distribution. Curtis talked about buying power. We begin to now leverage ourselves, our communities, create this tremendous commerce channels, 3 of them, and you begin to produce income. We do this one more time, 16 away from you. 3 of these channels, 16 away from you. You're now making an extra $800. Now we're at $3,100 a month in income. We do it one more time. We want to get it 24 deep, 24 away from you. So you help 3, you help 3, you help 3, and from there just take it 24 deep. That's an extra $2,500 a month, what we call our accelerator bonus. So between our Quicksilver of $1,500 a month and our accelerator of $2,500 a month, we've just now helped you create 3 enduring perpetual asset channels that will produce $4,000 a month in income. And from on your end, what do you do with that? If you took a third of it, now it could be an extra $1,500 a month. That was somebody getting super excited, by the way. If you didn't hear that, they were all pumped. An extra $1,500 a month that you're putting towards your retirement or whatever. Maybe you're making your house payment or your car payment. You start to use what you're going to do with this. Now, I wanted to kind of jump into this a little bit. These channels are very, very important. Imagine that each one of these channels represented 1,000 people, 1,000 consumers down in your business. And so you have 1,000 down one channel. Maybe you have 2,000 on another channel. You could have 1,500 down another channel. You can have 4 if you want. We just think we've learned over years that developing 3 of these asset channels or these commerce channels is very amazing. But now can you imagine having 1,000 or 2,000 people on a channel? And skincare. We introduced skincare because most ladies use that. Maybe deodorant, maybe shampoo. Well, what happened to your income? It just went up because your volume went up. and you just created the channels. And that's what we're trying to teach people to do here.
Well, and the other thing, along with that, Brad, the thing that people need to understand and realize is that the greater we make these connections and the larger these numbers become, there are, I can't even tell you how many companies out there that have the most incredible formulators, that have incredible products, goods, services. And what every single one of those companies is looking for is distribution. That's the only way they can get their product out there is through distribution channels. So what we really do is we begin to control the game. The larger we get this, the more connected we become as a community, and the more buying power that we garner, these people will be knocking down our door to offer us better value, greater products, greater services. You know, in the beginning, we kind of go out and pursue them. But all of a sudden, literally, we've been launched for 45 days or 60 days, basically, shipping products. And they're already starting to knock on our doors because they're beginning to see the collective power of what we're doing. So you need to understand it goes way beyond just the fact that you begin to create some channels. The fact that there are other people that we're all connected to and we're all beginning to create these asset channels gives the whole organization as a whole, this Blue Ocean Business Group, that becomes a major asset in and of itself because of the collective buying power that we garner from having this connection point.
And I want to mention also the Curtis this point earlier. Remember the buying power. As we talked about value innovation, as our numbers and our channels get bigger and bigger and bigger, the cost, it will drive our cost down. So our costs will be extended out to the consumers and all of our people. So then it's very hard for people to compete with us, and that's what makes us a blue ocean. We will make them irrelevant. But first of all, you've got to get in business. You've got to join us. And here's the 3 ways you can get in. You can simply become an IBO, what we call independent business owner, and pay the enrollment fee and have the rights now to just represent the product line, to sell it, and go that route. We recommend that you become a star IBO, at least that, where you get $199, what we call our optimal health kit, so you can begin to use some of the product, and it gives you access to all areas of our compensation plan to earn the most amount of money. But the overall best value is to become a Star Plus IBO with the optimal health and fitness kit at $299. It'll be the most value for your money. You'll earn the most income, and also allow you to jump and participate in what we call our Tier 3 program right away with that investment, where you will begin to earn what we call Legacy 300 shares that we'll mention later on in this presentation, that will become a very valuable asset to you as well. And so that's get in business. Right now, we just want people sharing the program with you. Get in business. Here's how you do it. Here's the cost. And I recommend the $299. I remember the first time I talked with somebody and they said $299. I said, yeah, find a cheaper business than that. What are you going to start for less than that? You know, we're putting a blue ocean opportunity in front of you for $299. Well, I would take advantage of it.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's not just the fact that it's a $299 opportunity to get in business for yourself. There's not a business that I know of anywhere that you can start for $299 that has unlimited upside potential. I've built some companies personally, Brad. The last one we started was here in Utah. It's a company called Fat Cats and the Pizza Factory. We got 40 lanes, a bowling, big family fun center, pizza, all that stuff. Just to open that business, just to open the doors, cost us $4 million. Guys, $4 million, okay? We're talking about $299 here. Here's the difference. That company that we started for $4 million doesn't have unlimited upside potential. It's a limited business. It's more of a red ocean than a blue ocean. Now, we're trying to do our best to differentiate ourselves, but you can only take that because of the very nature of what it is. You can only take it so far. Whereas with this opportunity, literally, it's limitless. You can take it as far and as big and do as much with it as you want, okay? And there's a very specific way to obviously do that, and we don't expect you to be, the world conqueror tomorrow, but just take the next step. Just do the next thing. And then get plugged into some mentors that can help you to understand what you need to do the next thing. And then we'll help you to do the next one. And next thing you know, you're sitting there staring at a $2,000 a month income, a $4,000 a month income, a $10,000 a month income, a $20,000 a month income. I know people where their monthly incomes over six-figure monthly incomes from owning and operating businesses like this because they're limitless. You can do whatever you want with them. Okay.
We just got sharing with you, as Curtis talks about that. We just shared with you 2 of our bonuses: the Quicksilver and the Accelerator. That was it. You see this list here you've been staring at. We have global pools as the company goes worldwide in all many countries and all the different ways you can make money. But the one thing I want to help you, why we focus on this Quicksilver and Accelerator program, is if you just did that, we talked about going 8 deep and then 12, but if you just did help your people get their 3, that's what we call the first wave of making $50. If they all help theirs make 50 and all theirs make 50, you did that down 10 levels, you would make about $42,000 a month in income. Now, what if you just did that 5% that good? Just 5% of that. You filled it by 95%. It would be about a $15,000 a month in income with adding up all these bonuses and stuff like that. So, gang, I want you to know there's money to be made here, but we need to help you. What your part is and what our part is, we'll explain as we kind of proceed and move forward here. But our Quicksilver Accelerator programs, just want you to focus on that. Help 3 to help 3 to help 3, and kept that momentum going through our Accelerator program. We talk about $4,000. That's your first goal, to help people earn that. But as you do that, that $15,000 a month will be coming along, and a lot can happen in your life and change your life. If you're I don't know who on this call couldn't have a different lifestyle if you made an extra $10,000 to $15,000 a month.
Well, and I had a guy last week that came up to me after and goes, "Why should I do a business like this? I mean, I already make $100,000 a year." And I said, "Well, because then you'll make $200,000 a year." It's not real hard to figure out. Do the math. It just depends on how you see things. It becomes really an issue of how your vision for the future. Where do you see things? If you think $100,000 a year is sky's the limit and that's as good as it gets, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, opportunity goes way beyond that. I mean, I know people personally that are involved in business with us that you're going to get a chance to meet and know that $100,000 a year, they'd feel completely broke. Now, I know there's others of you, $100,000 a year would be an incredible step forward. So there's something there for everyone, okay? It doesn't matter where you're at. There's something there that can be garnered by everyone.
We want each of you to feel comfortable in wherever situation that you're at. And that's the key to what we call our Tier 2, our Blue Ocean Success System, and working with mentors. The biggest thing and key, as Curtis talked about, we went very at the beginning of this thing, the key important thing to me that really starts to separate us even more as a Blue Ocean company is who taught you how to make money? Who taught you what to do with the money? In having access to people that can teach you how to actually build this asset, to build a business successfully, is what our Tier 2 program is all about through our seminars, our webinars, our CDs that will be available, our books, our events that will take place, all the different leadership that is out there to help you have success in this business. And that's really the key point that I felt was one of the most important things is you make an extra $100,000 a month. If it's an extra 100 on top of your already 150, well, 100,000 a month going to your Tier 3 is going to be pretty amazing in creating long-term asset flows.
Exactly.
And cash flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Tier 3 is vital, and I've already mentioned that. But the fact that we have access to a guy like Ron Simmons, he's the current chairman of the board, like I mentioned. But Ron Simmons, through this group that he currently operates, he manages just under $2 billion in assets currently. In order for you to participate with Ron currently, in order to sit down and access his knowledge and his team, you'd need about $500,000. The other option is become part of the Blue Ocean Business Group, because those are the only 2 people that he currently works with. So it's very unique because you have a connection through this Blue Ocean Business Group Association. You have access to things that individually you would not have had access to. So the bigger we get this, the more access we all have because of these relationships that we have. And we are going to implement the great things that we can take from these relationships and give people access to them. And I don't know that there's anything else like it. It's very unique.
Well, I'll jump into this, Curtis.
You look at me like, which camera are we on? Camera 1 or camera 2?
Camera 2. Okay, so one thing we want to talk about is our expectations. We like to revisit this all the time as we're starting. We're in a very special phase of our business. This is what we call the pre-launch or beta phase. This is a ground floor opportunity. Sometimes we like to start this off and let people know that. If you're tuning in for the first time, we have just launched. And what we say launching, we're saying pre-launch. Our website's gone live. We started shipping products 2 months ago. We paid our first commission check in May, and we're about to pay our second commission check in April. We call this the beta phase, though, because it's the time that we are looking to tweak things. We want to make sure the shipping process is working right. There's going to be some bumps along the way. there might be a website crash here or something could happen. And there's different things that happen in new businesses as they get started. And so we're looking for people who are willing to jump in at this phase with us and help us create something that's very special. Now, we're going to create it with or without you. We just do it with you.
Well, the other thing to think about, I've made some major mistakes in other companies just because it's the nature of what you do. When I made major mistakes in those other companies, it cost me a lot of money. When there's mistakes that get made in this process that we're in right now, it costs you nothing. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. All it costs is picking up the phone and letting us know, hey, this button didn't work, or this thing didn't work, or maybe my product, when it got shipped here, the box was ripped. I don't know, but they're not major deals, I'll tell you that much.
It might be that the box ended up at your neighbor's house, and so we had to go back and fix the address, or you had a P.O. box. And these are all the little things that we are adjusting and fixing and tweaking. But this can also present itself, if you're a pioneer and you're at the ground floor of something special, there's a huge, huge upside potential.
Yep.
That's what we're stating here. And in a few months, around October-ish, is when we'll have our grand launch, our super official launch, where we should have all those bugs working out, and we'll have all of our systems working. Tier 3 will come full on board. Right now, we're just starting to get Tier 2, the system implemented. You'll start seeing some of that stuff happen the next couple of months. By the time we launch, you'll see Tier 3 coming on full board. And so that's the stuff that we're working on right now. That's the current situation we're in. And with that, because it's the situation, there's some opportunity for you. And one of those is what we call our Legacy 300 Shares program, whereas you enroll at this certain phase. Now, we're going to continue this on. I just want you to understand this will continue on, but we will do other special things with this 300 shares. How you earn these shares and what these are, we're set aside 1% of all the volume, the company volume that we do worldwide, will be set aside. That's commissionable volume will be set aside. And you will earn shares. This will be a pool. So now as you enroll, as I mentioned, that $299 enrollment kit, that Star Plus IBO enrollment kit, as you do that, you will receive a share. As you enroll your first 3 people with that kit, you'll get another share. And then every person on top of that, an additional share. So by enrolling other IBOs, Star Plus IBOs, you'll earn more shares. This is the phase we're in. We want to encourage people to share this with their friends. Now, every month that you do over 300 in volume, you'll get another share. Now, these shares, I'll tell you, every year we will pay this an annual bonus that will be paid out. We call it our Legacy program. Now, that first year, those shares may be worth $1 each. You may have 10 of them. But 20 countries from now, or 60 countries from now, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, when each share could be worth 1,000 or 500 or 10 or whatever it might be, but it'll be a legacy check that you'll be excited that you participated in this time of the year of this event with us. And I don't want to get into any more detail other than that, except for if you jump into us this month, we are going to multiply these shares by 3. So instead of them being 5 shares that you may earn this month, it'll be 15 shares. So take advantage of what we're offering people during this phase that we're in, because we know you'll have to go through a few hiccups and bumps with us. So join us in this phase of our pre-launch and earn as many shares as you can, because it'll be worth it for you down the road.
Yeah, nothing better than the opportunity to, sometimes we don't understand what really that means. If you've got these shares and you think about it, let's say I know one of the countries that's been absolutely on the phone with us over and over and over again is India. We've got a bunch of leaders in India. They want to be involved. We have no plans currently to jump into any other countries. We're in North America right now, U.S. and Canada. That's where we're staying. That's kind of the direction we're going. So that's what's going on now. But as we begin to expand that internationally and do these things, I mean, you could have a country like India come on board, and next thing you know, India is doing $200 million, generating a ton of profit to the company, and you can have a piece of 1% of that and never know a single person in India. But you now profit from the overall business now because you participated and went out and got shares. And that's something that we feel we owe to people that they deserve for their efforts in going out and being part of this. So it's a truly win-win-win partnership. You got Blue Ocean Business Group, you got Avisae, and you got these individuals out there, these individual business owners that are partnered in both of these things, and collectively we can come together and really make dreams come true, help people get ahead in their life and do the things they want to do, whatever that happens to be. And you see pictures here, and I know we talk about this kind of stuff, but these are the things that I love. I know I'm getting ready to jump on a plane on Friday and fly up to Canada. I loved going to Canada, going up to Edmonton, and really looking forward to being with we have a bunch of people involved up in Canada that are just knocking this thing out of the park right now, and I'm excited to go meet and spend some time with them. And then I get back on Saturday and Sunday morning, and my wife and my my middle son are jumping on an airplane and flying over to Hawaii for a week to go over and spend some time in one of my favorite places. That hammock you see down there, that's got to be Hawaii. Okay, and I'm going to go lay in that hammock, and I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to send it to you. And I don't say that because I'm bragging. I'm just saying it's there. Hawaii's there. If it's going to be there, let's go experience it. If Paris is going to be there, someone's going to visit it. May as well be us. I love to fly fish. I love being up in the mountain. I'm kind of a mountain guy. I like the cabins and that kind of stuff. So I don't know what it is for you. I don't know, but I hope that you know. I hope you know that, when you leave this life, when I'm dead and gone, the legacy I'm going to leave isn't going to be, oh, there's that Curtis Hall guy. He was really good at promoting shake mix. There's Curtis Hall. He was really good at promoting those supplements. No, that isn't it. My legacy is what kind of experiences can I have with other people? What can I do to help other people? What can I do to be a positive influence in going out there and working with people, helping them create assets, through those assets creating cash flow, and through that cash flow allowing them to have the experiences in their lives that they want to have with their families. That to me is the most important part of it. So sit down, get back with the person that invited you. Look at what you're going to need to do to take the next steps, to take the next move in getting this thing put together, and put together an asset list. Those people that that is an asset list. Get that list put together and let us work to show you what we can then do with that list to help you begin to get other people connected through your business, through the connections with Avisae and the Blue Ocean Business Group, and get things started. So it's been great being on the call with you. We're so excited about what's going on right now. I hope you don't miss out on the opportunity. But you know what? We also understand that it is your choice. This is a totally optional business. Okay? There's no twisting arms. There's no forcing. This is something that you're going to make the decision to do on your own, which is what I love about it. Okay? So we would love to have you on board and have you as part of the team. I've known Brad now for almost 25 years, one of my best friends in the world. And you know what? I met Brad Reese through building a business structured like this. That's how I met Brad. And I can't imagine my life without Brad and Julie and his family. We've done so much together over all these years. So some of the greatest people that you're ever going to have in your life, you probably haven't met them yet. They're probably out there waiting for us to get them connected and make them part of this family that we're putting together here in this opportunity. So we hope that you'll all take the time to get involved and make this thing happen. It's been great being on with you. We're going to be doing another call like this tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The schedule is at avisae.com under the Blue Ocean Success System tab. There's a calendar there. The link to this will be on that. Get everybody you know on that call. There's also a training on Saturday morning that you can all access that Brad's going to be going over compensation plan and answering different questions. And more than anything, get with the people that invited you onto this call. They are some of the most incredible people. I'm looking at the list here. We've got people from here in Utah.